nice for me to share experiences and ideas with people like you. Why we are all concerned about the humanization of economies of heart. My English oral level is a little bit limited, but I am going to try presenting some keys of Mondragon experience and sharing some reflections about self-management to the future. That's the presentation. I am introducing a little bit Mondragon. Mondragon is the network of cooperatives located in Basque Country, in the state of Spain, in the north of Spain. Basque Country is north of Spain, south of French. The cooperatives are working in four areas: financial, industrial mainly, retail, and knowledge or research or education. The industry area consists of 12 divisions, specializing in the production of goods and services. The finance area includes the activities of banking and security or insurance. The retail area includes commercial distribution and agro-food business and other things. And the knowledge area comprises research centers, technology centers, a university with 4,000 students, and several vocational and educational schools or centers. Each cooperative, each individual cooperative of 103 are independent and autonomous. The cooperatives stay in the group while they want. The average number of employees in Mondragon is about 76,000, and total sales about 12,000 million euros. Somehow, the cooperative group, Mondragon Group, is the largest enterprise group in the Basque Country and one of the largest industry group in Spain. Our cooperatives are competing in high technified industries sectors in the global market. They are fighting for selling around the world, competing with the best enterprises in the world in their sectors. For example, in automation, machine making, electronic, and so on. The cooperative banks, for example, is one of the most dynamic financial institutions in Basque Country, and Eroski Cooperative manage the most important supermarket and hypermarket network in Basque Country, and one of the largest in Spain. Cooperatives also have its own research and technology innovation centers. Those are examples to illustrate a little bit that is a strong reality, economically strong reality, and to the point of view of efficiency and innovation. But which is the core of the Mondragon experience? Summarizing it as far as possible, we could say that two things characterize the cooperatives as enterprises. Inwardly, the institutional character of democracy, and outwardly, the commitment or the specific way to occupying their place in society or in wider community, the region. This is what the Mondragon cooperatives are deep down socially committed, democratic enterprises. All this has a wider framework. The basis of cooperative approach goes beyond that very cooperative itself as a corporate or enterprise formula. The basic idea is that the protagonist is in any sphere, industrial, educational, financial, social, cultural, should be the sovereign agent who, in a final analysis, should determine the directions to take when setting up democratically based organization. That is the underlying idea of Mondragon. The seal of Basque cooperative experience has been about setting up organization in a range of spheres, including industry, banking, education, consumer, university, cultural, media cooperatives, and technological research spheres. All are based on power architectures that have a bedrock in self-management and co-management experiences. Mondragon's experience was born out of driving force of some ideas mainly inspired by the principles of social doctrine of the Catholic Church and Christian personalism, with other left influences. A critical interpretation of what capitalist modernity had brought led 50 years ago to inspire, to try out a local experience what would work with developing human dignity by combining freedom and equality through the ties of solidarity, and by conferring sovereignty or power directly on workers, on labor. It's easy to say combining liberty and equality is easy to say, but difficult to manage. You need the ties of solidarity, and solidarity is not done. You need to cultivate solidarity values more and more with education and with different practical experiences. You have a map with location of cooperatives, main cooperatives in this country, and some data about evolution of workers and sales. You can see that it's a big evolution. One, some key of Mondragon cooperatives. Basque cooperatives have 5 decades, 50 years of experience with successes, problems, and paradoxes. The experience for transformation, like Mondragon, are limited, contradictory, partial lights that can inspire other possible alternatives in some ways. For a start, it has a central message. Its experience asserts that self-management is good for human dignity, and that it is possible to set up self-management organizations that are efficient and strong in today's global market. This history of half a century shows that despite the limitations and determining factors involved in operating capitalist market system. It's difficult. It is possible to be democratic and efficient at the same time. That it is difficult and requires certain compromises, but that is possible to set up enterprises that are as efficient as the best capitalist enterprises when the sovereignty of the workers is taken at the basis, as the basis. That hard cooperativism works and can be strong, and it can all be done while maintaining social commitment to the around community and the commitment of the mutual assistance in the network of intercooperation among the other cooperatives. In this task of sharing experiences, it's also important to establish the limits and gaps in the Mondragon experience. Mondragon provides the experience of self-management, but it has no practical and experiential responses when faced with other current ethical challenges, like the unsustainability of the model of global development, for example. It also, or will also, have contradictions in the fulfillment of some of our principles, practice of temporary employment, form of internationalization, and we have also important gaps identified, like lack of serious cooperative education and training and so on. These are samples that show that it is a dynamic, complex, contradictory, paradoxical experience in some aspects. I think that Mondragon must not be a model to be copied. It can be a reference for trying out some of its practical ideas. Each movement, immersing it in its own history and human geography, seems to have to develop its own self-management paths, and Mondragon is born with the seal of the past country, but society, with its historical characteristics, its conditions, and its social psychology. Social psychology is an important issue. Yet, it is interesting to know the progress of Mondragon, and it's interesting to know what has working in Mondragon, its keys to success. I think that there are some elements in Mondragon that could serve as reference for solidary economy experiences worldwide. Let me mention 7 of them with a phrase of each one. One, the education strategy. Education strategy is an important idea that and highlights the idea that transforming cooperativism can only be maintained in an ethical, social, and technical education that provides it with bedrock. 2. The central position of efficiency. The central position of efficiency could be a wake-up call for not very rigorous undertakings in solidary economy. Reinvestment, innovation are indispensable to be efficient and to be strong. 3. The central idea of sovereignty of labor, worker, and the legal formulas for getting the workers to be cooperators of members, even when there are other collectives, they are also cooperators, agricultural producers, consumers, users. Our cooperatives sometimes have worker members, have user members and have supporting members. For example, my university is a cooperative. The power in the assembly of my university is a part of worker members, the teachers, or the researchers, and so on. Part of the power is student user members, users of the cooperative services, and a part of the power is based on industrial cooperative and local institutions that support the university. There are different members with sometimes different interests, but they are all in the same assembly, sharing the power. For the practice of intercooperation is crucial. The development of vast cooperatives has been made possible by the network and mutual support formulas with it has had. Some of these formulas can serve, I think, as a certain reference for setting up regional or sectorial groups in solidarity economy. 5. The practical vision of Mondragon has been to set up self-sustainable structures that respond to a range of needs: production, credit, education, technological research, etc., by constituting autonomous cooperatives linked to the group in each sphere. 6. The social commitment to the regional community is, on the other hand, the link that ensures the orientation of the cooperative towards a project of transformation. Not just for to share the owners and the benefits with the workers. The dual aspect of participation, 7, in the social structure, we participate as owners in the social structure, institutional or political participation in the sovereignty of the cooperative, and as well as in technostructure, the participation of work process. It's a dual participation responding to challenge of efficient participation. However, we can look ourselves with a self-critical point of view, and we see that this kind of cooperativism have some difficulties and contradictions. Our cooperatives have grown as enterprises and business in the economic dimension. And it is going unnecessary because it's good to grow, necessary if you want to survive and achieve your goals. But the educational dimensions and some of social dimensions of cooperatives have not had the same development. And in that sense, our challenge is to develop the social dimensions more and more, to innovate in them also, to rebuild all the time the meanings and the cooperative identity. One of that social dimensions to care is participation, logically. One focusing the first differential of cooperatives, the internal differential of cooperatives, that is their democratic nature. One of the questions that has constituted the heart of cooperatives is participation, and one of the main challenges. I say that cooperatives has two aspects of participation embodied in the same individual, same person: institutional or political participation, and technical or functional management in the job. This dual participatory aspect offers the possibility of lending global coherence to participation. an integral character in which the two sides mutually reinforce each other. There is above all that issue a complex balance between democracy and technocracy. This is somehow inevitable. If you are an enterprise that is competing in the global market in highly technified sectors, you need to make complex decisions. You need technical force. You need somehow technocratic part. At the same time, you need to make the principal decisions with democratic discussion. That is a tension. You have to feed the democracy, to feed the democracy all the time, because the democracy is quite a natural tendency in the corporates. The big question is how to manage democracy. Considering the social commandment, the cooperatives are rooted in their communities and act by contributing a range forms to their social challenges by driving forward the setting up new cooperatives in new spheres, assisting education or cultural or social projects, and so on. The bedrock of all this is clear. The cooperative experience allows as a vector for social transformation that goes beyond the enterprise. The most intense work in social transformation has been done in Alto Deva area in our main region, in the geographic area that is model of experience. In this area, in addition to having a local industrial group with high-level intercooperation, main industries of my region are cooperatives, and they are strong cooperatives. But there are also other cooperatives in core spheres of social life, like education, schools, university, research centers, banking, media. We have a local communication group with little TV, little radio, and so on. And they are managed by a self-management system. And they have reached high levels of socioeconomic equality in the region and community activity. I think that with that density and diversity of self-management in a region, we can create new possibilities and new democratic culture. Some words about the importance of the cooperative education. One of the important founders of the cooperatives said once that the cooperative movement has been defined as an economic movement that employs educational action, and one could turn these terms around and say that we are an education movement that uses economic action. Perhaps this phrase may be somewhat exaggerated, but it illustrates that the importance attached to the educational aspect when the experience was first being driven forward. We can underline a desideratum to activate the social educational aspects, to of the cooperative experience, to rebalance the weight of the corporate, social, and educational aspects. I want to finish asking if we can say that this self-management paradigm has a future. I think that the self-management paradigm is taking shape as one of the lines, one of the most important perhaps, but one of the lines of humanization in the current socioeconomic panorama, and offers a number of key issues for thinking about better future. What place does the cooperative proposal have in the world of this century? We could formulate two ideas, and after a series of potentials that cooperativism contributes in this context. One, cooperativism is set within the need for alternative, diverse, creative responses that the current socioeconomic system needs. This is not time in which there is a global system that presents itself as an alternative, a whole and great alternative to capitalism. Then humanism asks to put forward and experiment it with a range of responses to uniformization driven by the socio-economic system. These are times to trying out in different fields limited alternative responses, which could be real proposals to the present and seeds. For me, that word, seed, is important. Seeds for the future. Mondragon cooperativism is a partial test bed for future responses in socioeconomic field. Its historical mission could be to go further into self-management paradigm, which drives it forward and drives the possibility of combining, I don't know how to say, organizational democracy with corporate efficiency by advancing in levels of personal and social transformation. Two, cooperativism is set within the paradigm of democracy. Democracy is a deep model, a futuristic paradigm, which in the present only includes a limited part of the social life. We live, in the best cases, in an approximation to democracy on the political fringe. The rest of the lives of individuals lies outside the democratic model. The democratic paradigm means organizing people's lives from the sovereignty of the individual. It is a horizon waiting to be built. It could be said to advance, but it's doing only so slowly. The cooperative fact constitutes an experience in enterprise democracy, and it is in this respect, it's somehow a school of democracy oriented for the future. Ending the presentation, we think that these basic two horizons, cooperativism has certain specific potentials that it can contribute to the socioeconomic panorama of humanity in this new century. One, cooperativism contributes an experience of interconnection between individual and community. This interconnection is a kind of mother pending for modernity, in which, in general, neither liberal nor socialist proposals have managed it to achieve once and for all. The cooperative is ongoing, small-scale experience which tries to harmonize individual and collective interests and provides the way forward. Cooperativism contributes the potential for creating development, in which development, endogenous, deeply rooted, personal and community, is understood as something more complex and multidimensional than economic growth. Cooperativism contributes to the deeply rootedness of economy. Faced with the serious problem posed by capital's lack of commitment, cooperativism set the enterprise, the capital, the economy in a complex human development. Cooperativism has a specific potential for creating and maintaining employment, owing its own proactivity in making it, the employment, a social aim. Cooperativism has the potential to develop coherent and integral participation in the enterprise, and cooperativism has a special potential for a social commitment to the region, the community, an elemental that is in the genes of the cooperative fact itself. In this potential, participation, social commitment, individual community equilibrium, conception of development, deeply rooted nature, cooperativism can contribute to humanize the lives of millions and to experiment seeds. We are experimenting seeds to prepare the future of economics in a different way, going closer to integral conception of development, or better said, of our American indigenous people call